Welcome to Living Your Senior Life, the podcast that helps you navigate your senior years with confidence, joy, and practical advice. We're Mark and Debbie, and we're so glad you're here. The holidays are such a special time of year, but if you've downsized, moved to an apartment, or simply prefer to keep things simple these days, you might be wondering how to make your space feel festive without the clutter or overwhelming setup. Today, we're talking about small space Christmas decorating. And I'm sharing 10 simple, senior-friendly ideas that will help you create a warm, cozy, and beautiful holiday home without all the stress. Whether you're working with limited storage, concerned about safety, or just want to keep things manageable, these tips are designed with you in mind. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's make this holiday season a little easier and a lot more joyful.
So today we're tackling a really specific and honestly a very common challenge that we've heard from you. It's all about creating that festive, cozy Christmas feeling, but doing it in a small space.
Right.
You know, an apartment, an assisted living space, or maybe a home you've just downsized to. You want the magic, but you just can't deal with the clutter or the safety risks of big, heavy decor.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to really go through all these sources and pull out the most actionable tips. We're looking for maximum holiday impact with minimum footprint and effort.
Yeah.
This really goes beyond just decorating. It's more about intentional design that puts safety and, frankly, a low-stress lifestyle first.
Yeah.
It's the shortcut to a simple, senior-friendly Christmas.
Okay, so let's hit the foundational insights right up front, the TLDR of this whole thing. If you only remember a few things, remember these. Decorating in a small space really hinges on prioritizing tabletop displays over floor clutter. Choosing slim or tabletop trees, using that vertical space to keep walkways clear, and, this is a big one, moving completely to LED candles and battery-powered lights for safety.
And that summary really gets to the heart of the problems we're trying to solve. I mean, we're talking about ease of effort, right? You shouldn't need a ladder.
No.
We're maximizing the function of the space. And most importantly, we are tackling safety head on. That means no floor clutter to prevent falls, which is a huge concern, and getting rid of fire hazards from old lights and open flames.
Okay, so let's unpack the biggest, maybe the biggest psychological hurdle when you're downsizing for the holidays.
The tree.
The Christmas tree. The big traditional tree is just out, but losing that can feel like you're losing the whole season. So what are the smart alternatives that still give you that festive punch?
The sources are actually great on this. They lay out 4 really practical options. The first, and probably the most popular for apartments, is the tabletop Christmas tree. They're lightweight, they're contained, and you can just pop them on a credenza or a side table. It shifts the focus up immediately.
But what if you still want that height? I mean, tabletop trees are cute, but they don't always have that grandeur.
That's a fair point. And if height is what you're after, then you go for the second option, the slim pencil tree.
Okay.
These are engineered to be tall, like 6 or 7 feet, but they are incredibly narrow. They can tuck right into a corner. But the key here, which the sources really stress, is decorating them minimally.
Right, because a pencil tree that's just loaded down with giant ornaments would probably look a bit sad.
It would look sparse, exactly. So you have to be intentional. You focus on light and unity. Use small, non-breakable ornaments paper, plastic and weave, battery-operated fairy lights deep inside the branches.
Ah, so it glows from within.
It glows. And that glow gives you way more visual impact than a bunch of heavy ornaments ever could.
I love that. Okay, so for the ultimate space saver, what about the trees that don't even need floor space?
That's option number 3. The wall-mounted or the half trees. These are just brilliant.
I've seen these.
They're flat on the back, so you can hang them right on a wall or a door.
Right.
You get the whole profile of a tree without taking up a single inch of the floor.
And do they really feel festive, or is it more of a compromise?
They absolutely feel festive, especially if you pair them with good, safe lighting. And if you can't manage any assembly at all, the 4th option is just peak simplicity. Wooden or ceramic trees.
One piece.
One piece. No assembly. Stores perfectly in the box it came in.
And I saw a mention of a really lightweight craft, the paper cone tree.
Yes, that's the ultimate lightweight DIY. You literally just roll some cardstock, tape it, and decorate it with stickers or ribbon. It aligns perfectly with the goal. No heavy lifting, no bending, and it stores completely flat.
This brings us to a really critical point about safety.
Yes.
Using vertical space. If you can't go out, you go up. Why is that the key strategy here?
You have to connect vertical decor directly to safety. I mean, when floor space is tight, the #1 goal according to guidance from places like the National Institute on Aging, is fold prevention. Anything you put on the floor, especially if it's new for the season, becomes a potential trip hazard. Going vertical keeps those walkways totally clear.
So how do we actually do that without it just looking cluttered, like we've just thrown stuff on the walls?
It's about being intentional. So instead of using shelves, maybe hang a few lightweight ornaments from the curtain rods. It almost looks like a delicate valance.
Oh, that's clever.
Or run a thin, lightweight garland above a door frame. The whole idea is to draw the eye upwards.
And that makes the space look taller too, doesn't it?
Exactly. And a great DIY the sources mentioned is a simple paper star garland. You just use a craft punch, string the stars on a thin ribbon, and drape it across a window. It adds this beautiful, delicate texture, and there's zero risk on the floor.
Okay, so moving from the walls down to the surfaces. Our third focus area is decorating tabletops instead of the floor. How do we create real impact on a small table without making it unusable?
The key word is vignette, a contained small display that draws the eye but is fundamentally movable.
Like a little world.
Exactly. Think of a mini Christmas village or a small nativity scene, something you could easily lift with two hands.
But is there a risk that it becomes too fussy to move? You know, if you need that table for dinner or something, how do you get that balance of impact and portability?
That's where the ornament bowl centerpiece DIY is perfect. You take a sturdy bowl, fill it with a few non-breakable ornaments, and then you just weave in some of those battery-powered fairy lights.
Ah, so the whole thing is one unit.
The whole thing is one single liftable item. It's high impact, low effort, and completely portable.
I like that.
Other ideas are just as simple. You know, some holiday florals in a low stable vase, or even just a collection of LED candles. The real benefit here is that everything is always within easy reach. There's no straining to move anything.
Which leads us perfectly to soft lighting. I mean, ambience is everything for that cozy feeling, but we have to talk safety. Lighting can be a huge fire risk.
This is a non-negotiable area. It has to be cord-free, safe illumination. The sources, like the U.S. Fire Administration, are crystal clear on this. You have to move away from open flames. The safest choice is always battery-operated LED candles.
And they look so realistic now.
They're incredible now.
Yeah.
And they totally eliminate the fire risk, which is especially important in settings where there might be oxygen use or mobility challenges.
Okay, but a lot of people love that sparkle of string lights on a window. How do we get that look without all the dangerous trailing cords?
Battery-operated fairy lights. These have tiny, thin wires. You can weave them into greenery, put them in jars, run them along a mantle, all powered by a couple of AA batteries. No long cords means you're drastically reducing fall risks.
Right.
You can also use small table lamps or those classic LED window candlesticks.
And there was a charming little DIY for safe lighting, right?
The ribbon candle jar. So simple. You just take a clear jar, wrap it with some festive ribbon, and place a battery candle inside. It gives off this warm, gentle glow that feels homemade and, most importantly, completely safe. It's that gentle illumination that's often easier on the eyes, too.
All right, let's expand beyond the main living area. How do we bring that holiday cheer into other parts of the home without it feeling overwhelming? Let's start with the entryway. Idea number 5.
The entryway needs to make a big impression with the smallest possible footprint. If you have a narrow table, just stick to 2 or 3 accents. If you don't have a table, focus on the door.
A wreath?
A small wreath, a holiday sign, something that stays flat against the wall.
And the sources had a really simple DIY wreath idea, didn't they? One that didn't need a glue gun.
Yes, the ribbon-wrapped wreath. You take a lightweight foam hoop and just wrap it tightly with a wide festive ribbon. Secure the end with a pin or a bow. It's minimal effort, stores flat, and looks really polished.
Okay, so moving into the kitchen or the dining area. Idea number 6. These are high-traffic zones. Safety and cleaning are huge. What are some safe additions here?
You want decor that is flat, textile-based, or high up, things that stay out of the way.
Right.
Think holiday tea towels, seasonal placemats, maybe a simple table runner that doesn't hang too far over the edges.
So it doesn't get snagged?
Exactly. You're prioritizing function.
Yeah.
But you still want a little bit of whimsy.
Of course.
And that's where you use the windows.
Yeah.
The sources pointed to the classic nostalgic touch of paper snowflake window decor.
Oh, I love that.
You just cut some paper snowflakes, tape them to the glass. It uses 0 counter space. It's basically free. And it stores in an envelope. It's the perfect way to add charm without any clutter.
Idea number 7 really gets into the power of textiles for adding warmth. And this is great because they take up almost no storage space.
Textiles are instant mood setters.
Yeah.
You can just swap out your regular pillow covers for festive ones. The covers fold totally flat for storage, unlike a whole new pillow. Or just add a lightweight holiday blanket to a chair. Instant coziness.
What was the no-sew idea for someone who doesn't want to buy new covers?
The no-sew ribbon pillow trim. You literally just wrap a nice ribbon around an existing pillow, tie a bow in the middle, and suddenly your everyday pillow is ready for the holidays. It's instant, and it comes undone in seconds.
And idea number 8 is about aesthetics keeping visual noise down by sticking to one color palette. That's so important in a small space, right? A riot of color can feel stressful.
Absolutely. Visual clutter becomes mental clutter. A consistent color theme creates a really clean, calming look. The sources suggest classics like gold and ivory or forest green and white. But they also made a really specific recommendation for soft pastels.
Soft pastels, why that specifically for this audience?
Well, because sensitivity to really bright, intense colors can increase with age, and a softer palette is just more calming. It's less visually aggressive. A gentle, unified palette just simplifies everything and helps create that peaceful environment we're aiming for.
Okay, let's talk long-term benefits. Idea number 9 is all about using decorations that are easy to store. This is about making next year easier before you've even finished cleaning up this year.
Smart storage is. It's just so critical for reducing future stress. When you're looking for decor, the focus should be on things that collapse, fold, or store flat.
Like what?
Foldable Christmas trees, fabric banners instead of plastic ones, flat garlands, lightweight wreaths. You're trying to avoid wrestling with those big, heavy bins next year.
And what was that ultimate flat storage DIY, the one that costs almost nothing?
The flat paper ornaments. You just
Yeah.
use colored cardstock, cut them into stars or circles, decorate them with a pen, and you can literally store dozens of them in a single envelope.
No bulk, no breakage.
None. Cleanup is done in a minute.
And finally, idea number 10, which might be the most important one. Focusing on sentiment with personal photos. If you have to keep things simple, make them meaningful.
This is how you maximize joy and minimize clutter, right? Memories are the best decoration.
Yeah.
You can integrate photos by just displaying 1 or 2 holiday-themed frames or creating a little memory shelf.
Or adding them to the tree. That photo ornament idea sounded perfect for a smaller tree.
It's so easy. You just cut a little frame out of cardstock, tape a photo to the back, and hang it with a ribbon. It adds so much joy and meaning, but it stays lightweight, simple, and stores flat. It perfectly follows the simplicity rule while celebrating what's really important.
So before we wrap up, let's just quickly run through those essential safety guidelines one more time. The non-negotiables.
Right. The safest options are always battery-operated LED candles, small artificial trees, non-breakable ornaments, and lightweight garlands. The goal is to always avoid 3 things. Loose cords, which are tripping hazards, heavy decorations that are hard to lift, and any clutter on the floor that gets in the way of free movement. Safety is simplicity. And if we just summarize the whole philosophy here, it's this. Decorating for the holidays in a small space isn't about compromise. It's about being intentional. It's about simplicity, safety, and getting the most joy you can without all the stress and clutter. A little bit of creativity goes a very long way when it fits your space and your lifestyle.
And what's so fascinating is that the constraints, the need for things to be lightweight, easy to store, safe, it forces you to focus on what's actually meaningful. It kind of strips away the excess.
It does.
So if focusing on a light and easy philosophy creates such a peaceful and joyous environment for the holidays, it makes you wonder what other areas of life, our schedules, our finances, maybe even our relationships, could benefit from applying that same light and easy approach. Something to think about as you start your own decorating.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Living Your Senior Life. I hope these small space Christmas decorating ideas have inspired you to create a festive home that feels just right for you, without the clutter, stress, or complicated setup. Remember, the holidays aren't about having the biggest tree or the most decorations. They're about warmth, joy, and the memories we create. Even the simplest touches can make your space feel magical. If you'd like to see photos and links to the products we mentioned today, head over to livingyourSeniorLife.com and check out the full blog post for this episode. You'll find everything there, along with more tips and ideas. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss upcoming episodes. And if you have a friend or family member who might benefit from these tips, please share this podcast with them. And as always, until next time, Take care of yourself and live your best senior life. Happy decorating and happy holidays.